Truly a thrill to be here tonight to celebrate our 40th annual meeting. We just had Community First member owner William Severin Thompson and his big swing band. Let's give them a round of applause. I heard lots of you say that this music brought back many, many fond memories, and the only thing missing was a dance floor in the middle, right? I also want to thank as well our partners from Canteen Catering for our snack boxes and treats tonight. Yeah. You didn't have to get in line to fill a plate and juggle your drinks. Hopefully you enjoyed it. So now it's my honor to introduce the chairman of the Board of Directors of Community First Credit Union, Catherine Seaman.
Thank you, Kathy. Well, welcome and good evening, member owners and guests. I will now call the 48th annual meeting of Community First Credit Union to order. It's great to be back in person again, isn't it? But we're also thankful for the technology that allows members to participate virtually. There are 2,127 members who have registered to attend tonight's meeting, and 850 are here at the Fox Valley Expo Center, and 1,277 members are attending online. However you're attending, welcome to everybody. We are so fortunate to have such active and engaged member owners to have this many people attend. Madam Secretary, have we established that a quorum is present? We have, thank you. Members and guests, the Secretary certifies that a quorum is present. This is a legal meeting. So with that, it's my pleasure to introduce my fellow directors. Vice Chair Sarah Micheletti is an attorney, shareholder at McCarty Law. Secretary Monica Hilt, most recently Chief Operating Officer with Ascension, Wisconsin. Our very own Kathy Tierney, President and CEO of Community First, is the treasurer of the board. Dan Ferris, VP, Chief Legal Counsel and Corporate Secretary of Secure Insurance. Amy Fricke Weigel, President and CEO of Fricke Printing Services. Jay Fulkerson, retired President and CEO of Health Payment Systems. Peter Maharazi, Chief Administration Officer of Catalysis. Dr. Susan May, President Emeritus, Fox Valley Technical College. Michael Moore, VP Global Engineering of Oshkosh Corporation, and Paul Schwartz, VP of Technology, First Brands Group. The minutes of the 2022 annual meeting, including the chairman's and president's report, the treasurer reports, have all been published and distributed, and the reports will be placed on file as well. So now it's time for election. As member owners, you have the opportunity to elect the people who represent you on the board of directors, and that's a key difference between credit unions and banks. I've asked member John Scully to oversee the paper ballot count this evening. I'd also like then to introduce Dave Van Lieshout, the credit union's attorney, who will serve as our parliamentarian, and Sarah Micheletti, chair of the nominating committee. Dave will now review the rules for participation in voting, and Sarah will present the nominating committee report and the slate of candidates.
Good evening, and as Chair Seaman said, I will be serving as parliamentarian for this meeting. Tonight we have members here in person and others who are attending the meeting via live stream. All members are asked to submit questions in advance as you registered for the meeting. Many of those questions will be addressed in the President's report. And credit union staff will contact members directly to answer all other questions submitted. An election of the Board of Directors will be conducted this evening. The credit union is using a combination of in-person and electronic balloting. Community First has partnered with CU Ballot, who conducts electronic elections for more than 200 plus credit unions throughout the country. Members here in person were validated and received a paper ballot. Members participating online will use the link to the right of this video to make them to CU ballot voting system, to take them to the voting system, where they will be asked to authenticate before the ballot is presented. Staff, under the supervision of the member appointed to oversee the voting, will count the paper ballots. Those totals will be combined with the electronic ballot totals from CU ballot, and the election results will be announced tonight. These are the rules for voting. You must be at least 18 years of age to vote. You must have joined Community First Credit Union by February 8, 2022 in order to be eligible to vote. No one is allowed to vote by proxy. Only the first person listed on a joint account is eligible to vote. Each member is allowed only one vote. You cannot cast a vote for each account you have at the credit union. Members are asked to vote for 4 directors. If you try to cast a ballot with more than 4 votes, the electronic voting system will not allow you to submit. Paper ballots with more than 4 votes will be disallowed. The 3 nominees receiving the largest number of votes will be elected to 3-year terms, and the 4th will be elected to a 2-year term. Nominating Committee Chair Sarah Micheletti will conduct the election in a few minutes. As is the tradition, in honor of 48 years of service, Community First will give away $4,800 in $100, $50, and $20 denominations. The prize drawing will be done tonight as the ballots are being counted. All members who registered were included in the drawing. Winners will be announced at the conclusion of the meeting and will also receive an email and a call from the credit union staff tomorrow to confirm the deposit into their credit union account. Board members, Community First employees, and members of the immediate family sharing the same household are not eligible to win. Thank you. I will now pass the microphone to Sarah for the report on the nominating committee.
Thank you, Dave. This year we have 3 directors whose terms have expired and an open position due to the retirement of Dr. Susan May from the board. That means there are 4 positions available tonight. We had strong interest from members in joining the board this year. In addition to our 3 incumbents, 9 members submitted applications for consideration. The nominating committee reviewed all applications and interviewed 6 members. Our goal as a committee was to present a diverse and qualified slate of candidates. We have selected 6 member owners for nomination. They are, in alphabetical order, Matthew Bingham, Dan Ferris, incumbent, Amy Fricke Weigel, incumbent, Jay Fulkerson, incumbent, Scott Schanhofer, and Alex Swoverland. Members participating virtually received the candidate listing and bios by email. Members here in person received a printed copy of this information. Each of the candidates has recorded a brief video to tell you about themselves and why they would like to serve.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Bingham. but everybody calls me Bing for short. I'm currently employed at J.J. Keller and Associates as the Vice President of Software Development. And let me first start out in saying what an honor it is to be considered for the ballot of Board of Directors of this great organization. My wife and I have been members of Community First for just under 21 years, and currently both of our daughters are members as well. I believe that the experiences and the skills that I have gained over the last several years, specifically in the technology and regulatory space, coupled with my involvement in both short-term and long-term strategic planning, would be a great addition to the already existing team. I'm excited to join this team for really three main reasons. One, I love this organization, and as a long-term member, I would love the opportunity to serve both the org and its members. Two, just like my current employer, CFCU is very prominent in the community, which is very important to me. And three, personally, I'm a lifelong learner. And I think this would be a great fit for me to be able to come in and experience not only a new org, but culture and industry as well. So let me close and just say thank you for your consideration. And I look forward to serving not only the org, but the community and its members in the coming years. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Dan Ferris, and I'm honored to be nominated for re-election to the Community First Credit Union Board of Directors. I'm currently Vice President, Chief Legal Officer, and Corporate Secretary at Secure Insurance, where I've worked for the past 33 years. My wife Cindy and I have been members of the credit union for over 10 years, and our 5 sons and 2 daughter-in-laws are also Community First members. I've had the privilege to serve on the Board of Directors since 2013, including roles as Secretary, Vice Chair, and most recently as immediate past Chair of the Board. As a fellow member of the credit union, I enjoy representing you in ensuring that our credit union continues to offer products and services that meet our needs, and governing with the best interests of the membership top of mind. I also believe I continue to be an effective board member and add value with my finance, legal, and insurance experience. So I'd appreciate your continued confidence and trust in me serving on our Board of Directors. Thank you for participating in the annual meeting and your membership in Community First Credit Union.
Hi, my name is Amy Fricke-Weigel, and I'm a CEO of Fricke Printing Service Incorporated in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. I have been a member for over 15 years. Currently on the board, I am part of the Audit Committee and the Governance Committee. I would like to continue as a board member to navigate, discuss, and implement the growth of the credit union pertaining to all our members and staff. My knowledge and experience can assist in the development of the mission and scope of Community First Credit Union. When I truly hear our slogan, "We will find a way," I truly see how this applies through the relationship of our staff and members. It is an awesome feeling to be part of an organization that creates a high level of personal support in a financial institution. Thank you for allowing me to be on the Board of Directors. I'm asking for your vote to continue to work for you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jay Fulkerson. I've served on the Community First Credit Union Board for 15 years, including time as the Secretary and the Vice Chair and the Chair, and I currently serve on the Talent and Compensation Committee. I retired as a healthcare executive. I've been a resident of the Fox Cities since 1982 and a member of the credit union almost that entire time. Community First Credit Union is a critical component here in the Fox Valley, and I'm proud to serve on its board. We've accomplished a great deal in the last 15 years. We were less than $1 billion in assets when I joined, and today we're approaching $5.5 billion. I'm excited to continue my work on the board because Community First is critically important in our community, serving our members as well as supporting lots of opportunities for things in the Fox Cities. I'd really appreciate an opportunity to continue, and I would ask you to support my efforts. Thank you very much.
Hi, Hi, my name is Scott Shanoff, and I'm very excited to be a candidate for the Board of Directors for Community First Credit Union. I've been a staff person of the YMCA of the Fox Cities for over 30 years, and I'm currently a district executive at our Neenah Menasha branch. I think I would be a good candidate for your Board of Directors because of the experience that I have doing strategic planning, collaborative work, and also my community involvement. So I'm very connected to a lot of agencies in the community. And I'm excited about this opportunity because I think first and foremost, it would be fun, it would be interesting, and I think it would be very educational. I also believe that the values of Community First Credit Union align with my own, and I want to be part of an organization. I also want to be part of an organization that supports the community and makes the Fox Cities a better place. I hope that you will be supportive and vote for me as a Board of Directors candidate. I look forward to serving you and Community First Credit Union.
Hi, Community First member owners. My name is Adam Swoberland. I'm currently the Vice President of Finance for Breakthrough, a subsidiary of US Venture based in Appleton. I've been a member of Community First since 2009. I have a diverse set of experiences, including overall financial leadership of an organization, capital structuring and allocation, leading a strategic planning process, and risk management. I worked in a financial institution during the 2008 financial crisis, and I was a corporate treasurer during the COVID-19 pandemic. Both of these allowed me to see a lot of different things. I'm currently in a program right now around mindsets and exponential technologies to really understand how the rapid advancement of technologies such as artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and quantum computing could impact our lives. Community First has always found a way to help me out, especially early on when I was buying a house, a car, or refinancing some debt. They've always been able to be creative and flexible to help me, and now I'm interested in serving as a board member to repay that favor. And I believe that the skill sets and knowledge I've developed over my career will be able to do that. Thank you for consideration of me as a candidate for the board.
Please review all 6 candidates. They are listed alphabetically by last name. To cast your vote, select up to 4 candidates and choose Next at the bottom of your screen. You'll have the opportunity to review your ballot before submitting. Any ballot with more than 4 votes will not be counted. You've heard from the candidates, and now it's time to cast your ballot for the Board of Directors. Members here in person, please complete your ballot. We will have team members collect them. For those of you attending online, please use the link to the right of this video or below it if you're on a mobile device, which will take you to the CU ballot voting system. Before voting, you will be asked to verify your voting eligibility by entering your birth date, the last 4 digits of your social security number, and your last name as it appears on your credit union accounts. Members who meet the voting eligibility requirements will receive a ballot. Members who are not eligible to vote will not receive access to the ballot. Voting will be open for the next 20 minutes.
Thank you, Sarah. I would ask the staff at this time to collect the paper ballots that remain in the room. And online members, please use the link to vote. And voting online, again, will be open for 20 minutes. After the paper ballots are collected here, we will hear from some fellow we'll hear from some fellow credit union members, and then we'll hear from our Community First President and CEO, and she'll take the stage to issue her report.
I think community means being involved in the lives of the people around you and being invested.
People coming together to help each other out and being interested in each other and giving you a hand when you're in need of it.
Because you may not want to say everything's kind of in shambles right now or I need help, but if we can notice that, then that's really what We'll Find a Way means to us. We'll go above and beyond and we'll really fight to see what we can do to get you back to where you want to be.
You see it every day. Members feel heard here. They feel like we're their family. We go through the highs and lows with them.
They've always helped me when I've been down and out and I've needed help.
Community First found a way for my husband and I to finally complete our family.
Because of all the help that Community First has done for me, I've gotten myself into a better place.
Everything they say is true. Community First will find a way.
What We'll Find a Way means to me is going above and beyond and getting to know our members truly.
You're actually helping someone else, people helping people, to help others grow.
It's not just a slogan, it's not a catchphrase, it's something that we live every day. And those relationships are concrete to us. And if we didn't have them, we wouldn't be Community First.
Okay. If you have a ballot left and you hold it up, one of the staff members will come and collect it. Oh, what a joy. It's just really special to stand up here tonight, to have had the time a little bit earlier to walk around and talk with everyone here. The annual meeting for me is a wonderful walk down memory lane, especially as I prepare for it. And I have 47 years of those memories. The photos reflect, just how special this gathering is, the smiles, the hugs, the coming together to celebrate success that happens because of each and every one of you and all of us together collectively. As we have the past few years, we've asked you to submit questions in advance of the meeting. We've reviewed and sorted them into themes, and I'm sure it's not going to come as a surprise to any of you that the number one question on members' minds at this point in time is, what about the recent bank failures, and how did those failures and what it means impact the credit union, and what is the safety and soundness of your money at Community First? The next most frequent question was about deposit insurance, and what does that mean to you, and what does that look like? And we're hearing a lot about that in the news today. And also then interest rates, that's on everybody's mind, right? And the economy. Other questions members asked were around data security, digital banking, credit and debit cards, and what about branch locations? So those are some pretty big topics for us to tackle in the short amount of time we have tonight. And while we won't have time to address all of them, my promise to you is that we will respond to every member who sent in a question. We'll respond with an email or a phone call. You'll get your question answered. And we hope that you find the information that we have this evening useful and informative. So I thought we're going to do a little departure from me standing up here talking at you for 20 minutes. I thought it would be helpful to use a panel discussion format to talk through several of the questions and topics that you submitted, especially around the bank failures, safety and soundness, deposit insurance, interest rates. And I'd like you to please help me welcome my teammates, Chad Bostic, our Chief Financial Officer, and Tim Huff, our Chief Lending Officer. Chad and Tim. As a reminder, our mission here at Community First is to provide financial, insurance, investment services, and financial education for our members and for the community. Our vision is to consistently demonstrate to you, our members, and our potential members, that Community First is the very best place for all of your financial business, and a place where everybody counts, everybody cares, everybody delivers every single day. The big difference between Community First and other financial institutions is our structure. As a not-for-profit financial cooperative, you all come together as members, and we use one another's deposits to help fund loans. The interest paid on those loans is then used along with investment income and fee income to help fund deposit rates, and as well as take care of all of our other operating expenses. At Community First, we value people coming together as a financial cooperative to help one another and our community. That's how we got our start, and 48 years later, that's how we're still doing business. I want to take a few minutes and walk through, and I'm going to go over and sit down, so these guys don't feel so lonely, right? So let's just take a spin, as Chad would say, through our results from 2022. Our member growth, we welcomed 11,034 new member owners to the credit union, which was a net growth of 2.6%. And membership now stands at just under 153,000 member owners of Community First. Asset growth increased by over $232 million last year for a 4.7% increase. And total deposits grew by $168 million, or 3.9%. The real story for 2022 was our loan growth. As I said earlier, loans are sort of what drives the credit union. We put our deposits together, but it's the loans that generate the majority of our income. We increased total loans with your help, and thank you, by $424 million, a whopping 13.57% in 2022. That was amazing. Yeah, that deserves a hand. And while loans grew, delinquency remained incredibly low. We have significantly lower delinquency and charge-offs than other financial institutions. Less than 10 basis points for delinquency and 3 basis points for charge-offs. That, again, is a tribute to the member owners of Community First who live their commitments. When they sign those loan papers, they pay us back. And that helps us from a financial perspective. Another topic that's really critically important, and you'll hear this as Chad talks a little bit about the bank failures, is our ability to manage our operating expenses. Our operating expense ratio increased just ever so slightly from 2021. And of course, we all know with inflation and rising costs, the cost of doing any kind of business has increased. But we work very, very hard to be great stewards of your money. And we have enjoyed, as an organization, an expense ratio that is the envy of the credit union industry. It gives us a lot of flexibility. We keep our costs low. That doesn't mean we don't pay our employees well, and you know because you visit our really nice offices and branches, but we're just able to manage it and keep it as low as possible so that we have more flexibility to be able to redeploy those funds in paying on your deposits and charging you less on loans. And when it all comes together, we had a record net income at the end of 2022 of over $70 million. That's what was left after we took all the income in, paid all the expenses, and we were able to put those funds into our reserves. And our reserves stand at just under 12%, making us one of the strongest financial institutions in the United States. And that's for you. On this slide, you can see the sources of our income. There are 3 primary sources. As I said earlier, loans are the engine that drives the credit union. So 62% of our income comes from the very best investment we feel we can make, and that's a loan to you. Fee income and other income is at 21%, also an important source for the credit union. A lot of that fee income comes when you use your credit or debit card. When you swipe those cards, and there's something called interchange income. It's a little controversial these days, as merchants don't particularly like having to pay for that, but it's a battle we're willing to fight because it gives them the convenience of getting their money right away. Lastly, we have investment income. And again, because our best investment is in loans to you, we take your excess funds and very safely invest them for additional income, and that totals 17% of our overall income for the year. What this is saying is that the more business you do with the credit union, it all helps us to continue to offer the highest deposit rates, the lowest loan rates, and provide broader access to credit union services. As I mentioned, we have two primary sources of expense: the dividends that we pay to our members for the use of your deposits. Dividends increased by 19% over 2021, and I know that's really music to many of your ears, because I can remember the last number of years, right, for quite a few, maybe 5 or 6, when you'd come to the meetings and say, when are you going to raise the deposit rates? Well, we've seen what's happened with the Federal Reserve raising rates incredibly significantly this last year, and we've kept pace, and that's a good thing, that now we're able to reward our savers even more. At the same time, we always have to balance, too, that we can't charge too much on the loan side, because that's a big, important source of income. And then when we look at operating expenses, which include all of our delivery channels, our technology, our buildings, our credit union team, and other expenses necessary to run the organization, operating expenses increased last year about 12%, which we were feeling pretty good about, especially given inflation and what we're seeing with supply chain and rising costs. So the other thing I talked a little bit about is branches, and that's where the heart of your relationship with Community First comes first and foremost. You can do business online, and we encourage you to do that, but it warms my heart to come and hear all the stories. And I heard several of you say, hey, when you get back to the office, tell Elizabeth, she did a wonderful job for me. I really appreciate how she helps. So branches will continue to be very, very important to the credit union. And no matter how you want to do business with us, if you want to click, if you want to call, or if you want to come in and see us, we encourage you to do that. We remain committed to you. And while other financial institutions are often forced to offer higher deposit rates due to liquidity concerns, we pay higher rates to reward you as the member owners of Community First. So let's spend a little bit of time now talking about those bank failures and how your credit union is different. Chad?
Thanks, Kathy. So as many of you know, 2023 has been a wild ride so far in the financial services industry. We've received and fielded many questions and calls from members about how safe is Community First, and I'm excited to be able to spend time walking through that with you today. We started the year off with 2 large regional bank failures, and unfortunately that created significant reputation risk for all financial institutions. That includes banks and credit unions alike. While this can be viewed as a difficult time for most credit unions and banks, I'll tell you that we at Community First feel that this is an excellent opportunity for us to demonstrate what that credit union difference is for you, our members. As a member-owned financial cooperative, it is important for the credit union to responsibly manage our members' resources, and we do just that. So with that, I'd like to talk about the differences between the failed Silicon Valley Bank and Community First, and start by focusing on how the asset portion of our balance sheet is structured. But first, to be clear, there are 2 significant exposures that SVB had. The first is they were reaching for short-term earnings and investing in long-term marketable securities. The second is they had significant deposit concentration risk. When many of their large depositors wanted to withdraw their funds from the bank, they did not have enough liquidity on hand to honor those requests. And that created concern and led to a run on the bank's deposits. But here, focusing on the asset composition comparison, you can see how a CFCU is intentionally structured to focus on making loans to our member owners. The excess funds that we have not lent out are held on deposit in cash or certificates of deposit. These certificates of deposit have short-term maturity dates, so we have funds readily available to continue to make loans to members or have those funds available if members need the access to their deposits. With SVB, you can see they only had a concentration of 35% of their assets in customer loans, whereas at Community First, our best and favorite investment is in loans, and 69% of our assets are allocated there. Another stark comparison is the marketable securities concentration that SVB had, which created a significant amount of trouble for them as interest rates have risen rapidly. Those marketable securities concentration was 56%, whereas Community First chooses strategically to not make investment in those marketable security types, and we choose to have cash on deposit, and that represents 26% of our assets. So we choose to maintain a consistent and stable balance sheet so we can deliver services to our members when they need us, no matter what the economic environment we're operating in. So just a moment ago, I mentioned that SVB had a significant concentration risk as it relates to deposits. As you can see here, SVB had 97% of their deposits were represented by deposits in excess of $250,000. In contrast, Community First Credit Union only has 22% of their deposits that represent a balance over $250,000. An additional way to look at this is to consider the percentage of uninsured deposits. And I tell you, when I look at this slide from SVB, it's quite astonishing that they had 88% of their deposits that were uninsured. As compared to Community First, we have 15% of our deposits are uninsured. As SVB began to experience difficulties, customers with deposits in excess of the insurable amount began to withdraw their deposits rapidly, which caused a run and ultimately the bank's failure. Understandably, many of our members, many of you, are concerned about deposit insurance. All member deposits are insured up to $250,000. However, depending upon the account ownership, individual deposits may be insured for more than $250,000. And it's important to note that under the National Credit Union Share Insurance Fund, a credit union member has never lost a penny as it relates to insured shares. So you might ask, what's next after deposit insurance? What about those uninsured shares that Community First has in the balance sheet? Well, I have exciting news to report. This trend here that you see on the slide compares our uninsured shares year over year from 2018, fast forward to March 2023 after those bank failures, as compared to our total net worth. So the lighter chart is our uninsured shares, and the darker piece of the chart is our net worth. And as you can see, leading up to when we started receiving those excess federal stimulus payments, our net worth exceeded those uninsured shares. As you fast forward to December 22 and March of 23, we're still right-sizing the balance sheet as we have been maintaining these excess deposits from those federal stimulus payments. But our net worth darn near covers all of our uninsured shares. And personally, from my perspective, that's a great thing. This also means it's perfectly fine for members to have uninsured shares. Your member-owned financial cooperative has been building this net worth year over year since 1975 to put us in this position. As we've discussed, a key purpose of a credit union is to ensure member owners have access to loans. And that's why, again, we've chosen to focus 69% of our total assets on member loans. Member loans are our best investment. One might ask, why do we give up on some earnings by holding cash on deposit? Well, it is true that we sacrifice some earnings, but we choose to ensure that we have liquidity on hand to meet members' needs and to have the flexibility to manage a volatile interest rate environment. Unfortunately, some financial institutions have made long-term investments, and they're having a difficult time managing liquidity risk and managing this interest rate environment. Because loans are so important, I'd like Tim to talk a little bit about the composition of our loan portfolio.
Thanks, Chad. Where our loan growth occurs is often a reflection of what's going on in the economy and in the interest rate market. As you can see, in 2019, a great majority of our loan growth was in commercial loans. As interest rates fell over 2020 and 2021, mortgage lending took over as the main driver of our loan growth. As interest rates began to rise in 2022, the mortgage refinance market began to slow, while commercial lending saw a strong increase. Despite the ebbs and flows of any given year's sources of loan growth, our overall lending portfolio mix remains very consistent. This mix underscores the importance of the balance of lending we do for individuals and businesses. That mix is a hedge against any economic downturns. As you can see in the chart, over the course of the last 5 years, our personal loans, which is our auto loans, boat loans, unsecured loans, remain relatively stable from 15 to 16%. Mortgage lending has gone from 59% in 2018 to 54% of our overall loan portfolio, and our commercial loans have increased from 21% up to 27% during that period of time. A recent study reported that Northeast Wisconsin will face a shortfall of approximately 19,000 housing units to support our population growth over the course of the next 10 years. Our commercial lending team continues to rise to the challenge as we financed nearly 700 housing units in 2022 alone. The impact of the credit union and our communities is significant. Not only do these loans add interest income which supports our operations, but working with these business members provides huge economic value, supporting jobs, income creation, and providing much-needed housing. Now, Chad will talk about how we invest money that's not loaned out.
Thanks. Thanks, Tim. All right, so here's a closer look at the allocation of earning assets that are not represented by member loans. When building the investment strategy, we must consider our objectives. At Community First, we choose to prioritize the safety of member resources and risk management above everything else. We want to ensure that we have ample liquidity to make loans to members and provide access to their deposits when they need them. After managing those priorities, we will consider low risk and highly liquid investments. This is our intentional, member-focused, low-risk investment strategy. We do not have marketable securities, and we do not hold any investments that present an unrealized loss. Additionally, as a credit union, we have different, more stringent regulations around investments. Certain high-risk investments are not permissible for a credit union, such as speculative investments, cryptocurrency, equities, and commodities like gold, silver, or oil. Now, as I mentioned, we've had a rather interesting last year and a few months. 2022 and 2023 have been quite eventful as it relates to interest rate increases. We are still operating in very uncertain times, and despite our best wishes, we still don't have a crystal ball. Next, we're going to take a moment to share how we've been managing the credit union during a season of historic interest rate increases. This is the most volatile interest rate environment that we have seen since the 80s. I was. I didn't have a loan yet, though. No loans yet. All right, so as we consider what it means to operate in a volatile economic and interest rate environment, we believe in a holistic approach here at Community First. We believe it's critical to have a comprehensive approach to managing our safety and soundness. We're not focused on boosting the stock price or making returns to stockholders. We are concerned with the financial well-being of each and every one of our member owners. Being a safe and sound credit union requires attention to building reserves, generating income, being diligent with operating expenses, and remaining true to our core beliefs as a locally member-owned cooperative. But additionally, we must have a major focus on risk management. The credit union manages, monitors, and reports on risk in uncertain times by running extensive and frequent stress tests. These stress tests ensure we are offering competitive deposit rates while keeping loan rates low for members who need access to loans and ensuring we are positioned to manage a liquidity event or a historic rate increase, such as what we've just experienced. Examples of stress tests include evaluating how our balance sheet and our earnings profile perform under extreme interest rate increases. Due to the rapid rise in rates that we've experienced, our measurements have demonstrated how our credit union would handle interest rate increases from 3% all the way up to 8%. We also perform stress tests to understand what would happen to the credit union if we experienced a rapid decline in deposits. We've actually simulated what would happen if all of our uninsured deposits were withdrawn from the credit union. Why do we do this, you might ask? Well, we want to understand the credit union's balance sheet and earnings profile and understand how it will handle extreme scenarios so we can be mindful of the risk when we are making decisions about the rates we offer on deposits and loans in order to maintain our safe and sound financial position. We also use these stress tests to ensure that we have risk action plans and contingencies to continue to operate effectively in any economic environment. Thankfully, due to the risk management practices here at Community First, we continue to maintain a low to moderate interest rate risk profile and a low liquidity risk profile. Simply put, risks are being effectively managed. Now I just want to turn to show some examples, other examples of how we're honoring that credit union difference. And one of those examples is paying higher rates on your savings. When rates change, deposit rates rise much more quickly than loan rates. This differentiates Community First from banks who typically increase loan rates much faster than deposit rates. Here at Community First, we strive to do the right things for all members in setting rates by balancing the needs of our depositors and members who need to borrow. An example of the credit union difference as it relates to loans are the offering rates that we provide via our credit card. You can observe up on the screen the pricing difference for those credit cards. It pays to borrow from the place you own, and our success is ultimately your success. Reserves, very important to us. As we described earlier, we have enough net worth to cover darn near all our uninsured shares. These reserves are important to us to continue to be able to serve all of our members year after year. We measure our reserves by a net worth ratio. That ratio is calculated by dividing our reserves or our net worth by total assets. The National Credit Administration requires a net worth ratio of 7% to qualify as well capitalized. At almost 12%, Community First far exceeds that requirement and also outperforms our peer group of all U.S. credit unions, United States credit unions, between $1 billion and $10 billion in assets, as well as our Wisconsin peer group with $1 billion or more in assets. Since we opened our doors in 1975, Community First has consistently built net worth and is one of the safest and most sound financial institutions in the United States today. Yeah. So what does this all mean? Well, due to the intentional strategy to focus on long-term results, we are well positioned to continue to offer access to loans at competitive rates, higher rates on deposits, and top-of-class member service and delivery channels, no matter what is going on around us.
Thanks, guys. You know, our theme for 2023, we pick a theme every year, is change, progress, innovation, finding a way every day. We now have a very short video to share some important information about new products and services. You'll hear from another member of our senior leadership team. There she is.
Hi, I'm Barb Birkin, Senior Vice President of Branch and Call Center Operations. I'm excited to tell you about some of the new initiatives we're introducing to make doing business with the credit union even more convenient. We've just completed a test program and are happy to now offer online appointment scheduling for our members. You'll find the scheduler on the Contact Us page of our website. This new service lets you choose the branch location, time, and in most cases, the individual staff member you'd prefer to meet with. You'll see up-to-date availability and receive a confirmation of your scheduled appointment. You can schedule an appointment to open new accounts, apply for a loan, or to handle other account-related questions or services. We know you have busy lives, and being able to schedule a specific time with one of our folks can make life easier. Of course, appointments are not required. We are always happy to have you drop in anytime, but if you prefer to have a scheduled time to help you juggle the rest of your day, we encourage you to give it a try. Many members have told us how happy they were to receive the newly redesigned Community First debit and credit cards with the latest Tap to Pay feature. We started to deploy the new cards this past fall, and as members order new cards or their cards are replaced, they will receive the new design and features. Tap to Pay is quickly becoming the card industry standard and is a convenient, easy way to pay without having to swipe or insert your card. The cards come with additional fraud protection features, including encryption, and your card number is printed on the back of the card, so it's not visible for others to see it when you use it. We're constantly making advancements to enhance security and make life more convenient for you. And now you will have 4 ways to pay using your Community First cards: Tap to Pay, chip insert, magnetic stripe to swipe, or put your card in your digital wallet and pay using your phone. This year, we are working on additional enhancements to our card program with digital issuance. Today, payments made with both debit and credit cards are increasingly done using the card information, which is stored in a digital wallet on your Apple or your Android phone or even your watch. While there are no plans to abandon physical cards, financial institutions and other providers now have the capability to immediately issue your digital version of your card directly into your digital wallet. This is especially helpful when we need to replace a card that is damaged, lost, or stolen, because you don't have to wait the 7 to 10 days to receive the physical card. We know how frustrating that can be. Your physical card will still be delivered, but you won't have the wait time to access your funds. It's nice to give our members more options and choices to manage your money. And one additional card we're adding to our lineup later in 2023 is the Visa Signature Cashback Card. It is another option in addition to our great rate and great reward cards. With the Visa Signature Card, members can earn 1.5% cash back on all purchases and receive other Visa Signature benefits like concierge services, emergency assistance services, and more. Another great benefit is that you'll be able to easily redeem your cash back for instant credit to your Community First accounts using our digital banking app, anytime, anywhere. It's really simple and convenient. The Visa Signature Card should be available early fall of 2023. Finally, we're developing 2 new and improved experiences for our member owners related to lending. The first is aimed at making our online loan application processes much more simple and fast, making it even easier to get a loan from the place you own. The second will enable people to become member owners of Community First and open deposit accounts online, providing more options to begin or expand a relationship with us. While it's important for us to continue to advance technology and digital access, we want you to know they are simply another way for you to interact with us and your money. Technology will never be a replacement for the personal service we are committed to delivering to you. That's our promise.
Thank you, Barb. Isn't she great? As we're winding up here, you know, our focus and key strategies are very clear, and we've spent a lot of time tonight, more time than we've ever spent before, talking about financial strength. But certainly the other very important blocks of our foundation are operational excellence, and of course, our community leadership and engagement. I'm sad that we're not spending a little bit of time tonight talking about all the great things we do in the community, but you know that we're there. You know, providing you, our members, with the service you want and should expect to have comes because we have an incredible team of employees, and we are focused on what their employee experience is like at the credit union. Those are our three key strategies, and we feel like if we take really good care of our employees, they're going to take really good care of you, and then the growth happens. And we are so blessed to have this amazing group of almost 600 team members. They are genuine, as you can see tonight, the folks serving you, caring, and very, very smart, accomplished people. So let's ask our employees to stand and give them a round of applause. All right. I know this formula works. It's worked for 48 years, and we're going to continue it going forward. There's just so much more we'd like to talk about, and we're actually going to run probably just a little over 8 tonight, so I appreciate your patience. But we've run out of time, of course. So I hope that the presentation tonight really helped to unpack what happened with the bank failures and just to reassure you how safe, strong, and why Community First, as you own this organization, is a great place to be. We take it very seriously. And I want you to know that anytime, you can always call me. My email's out on the website, president@communityfirstcu.org. You can call, you can stop in, you can make an appointment if you want to, online now. But I'm here to answer your questions and talk to your concerns, as is the rest of our team. But don't hesitate to reach out to me. Okay, at this time, I would like to, on behalf of our chair, ask Sarah Micheletti to come up and report on the results of the election.
Madam Chairman, the results of the election are Amy Fricke-Weigel, Dan Ferris, Matthew Bingham, and Adam Swoverland. I would like to thank the nominating committee as well as all of the members who expressed interest in serving on the board. Congratulations to our elected candidates.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Kathy, Tim, and Chad, for all of that wonderful information about the financial security of our institution. The Secretary has confirmed that there is no old business, but we do have one item under new business tonight. We would like to take the time to honor our fellow director and friend, Dr. Susan May, for her years of service.
Dr. Susan May was about halfway into her distinguished career with Fox Valley Technical College when she followed the advice of a friend and became a credit union member. Fast forward to 2021, when after 38 years at FBTC, including the last 13 as the president and CEO, Dr. May retired to well-deserved praise and acclaim as a passionate, highly regarded education leader and community supporter. Tonight, we want to recognize Dr. May for her similar outstanding success as a leading member of our Community First Board of Directors for the past 16 years. Longtime fellow board member Jay Fulkerson called it an honor to have served all 16 years with Dr. May, who represented Community First with distinction and grace. Community First and its board of directors have been fortunate to have enjoyed Dr. May's valuable leadership and the organizational excellence she has demonstrated as an FBTC leader and community leader. Our board member Dan Ferris said, she was instrumental in helping the credit union's governance practices evolve, always remembering our duty and obligation to our member owners. Dan continued that over the years, Susan has been the voice of reason and a mentor to many on the board, and she will be missed, but we can only extend our deepest gratitude and well wishes in her retirement. While serving FBTCs as their academic vice president back in 2006, part of Dr. May's duties involved building new businesses and community partnerships. And one of those partnerships was with Community First back in the day, and that's how Susan and I were able to meet. Once I met her and saw her commitment and her passion, I suggested that maybe she might want to think about running for our board of directors, which she did. She served several terms as our board chair, our vice chair, as secretary, and she's also chaired the board's governance committee and is a trustee of the retirement program. Dr. May retired from our board following our December of 2022 board meeting. She said, Community First has experienced incredible growth over my time on the board due to the tireless and focused efforts of the organization's leadership and staff, never wavering on service and support for the members. She points to Community First's origins and leadership by its founder and credit union pioneer, Maury Dresang, as a hallmark and solid foundation for its amazing success. No truer words. She said, the story of Community First is a wonderful example of the essence of a cooperative, of shared community and entrepreneurship. Considering that this one-man suitcase operation, and those of you longtime members kind of know how we got started, would eventually become one of Wisconsin's largest credit unions and one of the nation's highest performing credit unions is truly remarkable. Community First is an integral part of the fabric of this region today, thanks to the very direct and personal connections by staff and leaders. According to Susan, serving on the board was a cherished opportunity. It's been my honor and privilege to be just a small part of this remarkable organization in my 16 years of board service. Dr. May has been an exceptional leader throughout her career, and we are so grateful that she willingly shared her skills to help guide and govern our credit union. Her contributions to us have been impactful and truly amazing. And personally, I'm just very honored and blessed to consider Susan a cherished friend. So please help me in saying thanks to Dr. Susan May, who's live streaming with us tonight. Thank you, Susan.
Before we adjourn and announce the prize drawing winners, which I know you're anxiously awaiting, I really want to give a sincere thanks to all of our staff and volunteer who have worked so hard to organize this meeting. Please join me in a round of applause for them. They've done an incredible job. And on behalf of the board and our staff, I want to thank all of you for making the time to attend our 48th annual meeting. Each year brings an opportunity to connect, reflect, and improve. And together, we've built a place that you can trust and rely on, which is even more critical in the economic environment that we're in. Together, we continue to make a remarkable and positive difference, not just for one another, but in the communities that we call home. That's the power of being a member-owned financial cooperative, and with your continued support, we will continue to find a way. The meeting is now adjourned. We'll be announcing the prize drawing winners. And for those of you here in person, please travel safely on your way home. Thank you.